What do we got here?
Bobby, meet Keenan. Keenan, this is Bobby. Something tells me he was on his way to deliver a warning.
What's his name, Keenan?
Damien. It's my brother.
He's your brother. No shit. These are my brothers.
Nah, dog, he's my real brother.
Yeah, these are my real brothers. This is Angel. I'm Bobby. This is Jack and Jeremiah. So what about you and Damien? You guys still close? Does he live at home with you?
Yeah, but I ain't telling you.
Okay.
I wouldn't sell out my brothers either.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Film Bros podcast. My name is Isaiah Lucas, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Abraham.
And Nick.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good. I'm exhausted.
Are
Yes.
Yeah, work was rough today.
you? Long day of work?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I had a pretty busy day just because it's getting towards the end of the month, so it's like processing time that you just have to, crunch. But yeah, feel good now. So,
Yeah.
what about you?
I'm in a good mood. I don't want to think about work. It's crazy. It always is. I want to talk about just how I'm in a good mood. I watched this movie and I thought I was going to be like sitting here being like, oh, come on, get it over with. No, but I'm excited. I'm ready to talk. Day was fine. Ready to get it over with and do it all over again tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, last we knew, it was Abe's pick.
Yes.
And Abe, which movie did you pick?
I chose the movie Four Brothers. It came out in 2005. It was directed by John Singleton and written by David Elliott and Paul Lovett. I want to say is the last name.
Lovett.
And basically it's just a movie about four brothers who there's so many things that happen.
They're adoptive brothers.
They're
Yes.
adopted brothers from they were put in the system at a young age, and this woman took them in because no other family would put them or take them in because they were so wild. I would say is the word maybe. And basically this movie is about we find out that the mother was killed and they're trying to find out who the killer was, and they have to do so many things to find the killer.
Okay.
Yeah. Revenge.
So this is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, essentially.
And the mom
But real life.
The mom is like Master Splinter.
Master Splinter. Yeah. Did you see that picture of Master Splinter holding the tiny little
the tiny turtles,
Yeah.
and then the big ones are holding
holding
Master
it
Splinter.
Yes, that's honestly exactly how this is. But what's your history with this, man? I want to know.
I've seen this movie at least 10 times.
Really?
And you loved it every time,
This is
or
the
what?
first one for me. This is the first watch.
This is, I don't know if I love it anymore.
Why?
From a
Or watching it from a critical mind?
from a
maybe?
critical mind,
Okay.
I found myself. So I watched it last night before I went to bed, and I was just like, okay. I was like, bro, are you kidding me? And then there's parts where I laugh, and I'll be like, okay, like, no, this movie did not age well.
Okay.
It's stuck in 2005
Okay.
or even younger, like Nick said.
I was going to say, this is a very 2000s movie.
yeah.
I said to him, I said, somehow it de-ages itself. It feels. I was surprised it said 2005 because some of these, like the writing and some of the way that this was shot, dude. I was like, this is like amateur hour, like
Yeah.
the 1990s or anything like that, dude.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
But I think I've watched it at least like 10 times.
Okay.
And I watched it, I want to say like 2 months ago. You came in my room and you're like, what are you watching? I was like, oh, I'm watching Four Brothers. And I didn't think anything about it. And then now watching it yesterday, I was like, oh, shoot, dude, this is not a good movie.
Maybe it's, yeah, I mean, we all have guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
You know,
it's a
like,
guilty pleasure.
I have guilty pleasure movies as well, like that I know aren't good. And I'm fully aware of it, but I continue to go back to them because I'm like, but I love it though.
Yeah.
You know? And
Maybe that's why I like it, because I could watch it again tonight.
okay.
And I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know about that for me.
I
man.
can't.
I think this might be a one and done for me.
It's kind of funny because if I did watch it again, it would be like brand new because I already forgot most of what happened.
Wow.
You want to know what's interesting too is John Singleton made some really great movies.
Did he
before.
really?
His
He did,
first
yeah.
movie was Boys in the Hood.
No.
It was.
Yes.
I didn't know
He's
that.
the writer and director of Boys in the Hood,
Yeah.
which is I would argue like a top 10 movie.
I was
Like-
gonna ask you guys because I had read that and I was like, you guys have talked about Boys in the Hood a lot.
We-
and
yeah,
you've said
we
it's good.
Wanted to do it. He did Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, he directed Too Fast, Too Furious. He also did Baby Boy with Tyrese.
Poetic Justice.
Yep, with Tupac.
No way.
He's done quite a bit.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
know any of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the span of his career, he did quite a bit. So it was really interesting to see. I think this was the last film that he made before he had passed away. It's really interesting to see that this was his last. Given all of the hits that he had previous to that. But yeah, I have to say, I think I'd already mentioned this was the first time I had watched the movie, and I remember this movie coming out when I was a kid. I remember as a kid wanting to watch it, and my mom, I think I saw a commercial for it on TV or something, and my mom was like, "Oh, you're not watching that," and of course because it was rated R. But looking at it now,
Rated R
like,
for what?
it was really rated R just because of the cussing. But like I had read a couple of things like with actors who had like passed on the role and stuff and everything because they thought it was too violent or ultra violent. And I think about the
Where?
violence that's in this movie and I'm like, it's really minimal.
It's
like
so-
Not that much.
the violence like like in this compared to like a John Wick
Oh,
like
there's no contest.
is night and day.
There's no
Yeah.
contest. Yeah.
And to think about that and to see that like some big name actors passed up because they thought it was too violent, I was like, how much
you
more
kidding
violent
me?
could it like it could get worse.
Yeah.
It was very minimal.
It was a different time. It's a different time now, especially
yeah.
with some of the things they let slide.
Yeah, most definitely.
But I'm interested. I didn't know how to approach it. I finished this movie and I was really, really critical, like really critical. And I was like, you know what's going on here? Is it just because we're so far removed from 2005? Is it because I can't relate to that time
17
at all?
years ago.
I was a little kid. I didn't even know anything. Like, should I approach this film as if it's 2005? This is brand new. How should I do this? You know what I mean? I decided to go to the critical route just because I thought it'd be more fun.
I wish.
Well-
I honestly, knowing that, I wish you texted me like, "Bro, what is this movie?"
No, I didn't want to tarnish it. I didn't know if you loved it or not. So I didn't want to be like, yo, this sucks.
Well, I think one thing in regards to you like trying to get in the mindset of like 2005 is that I think that could be a little bit of a slippery slope because like when we look at movies that got made like look at like
I wonder what movie came out in
12 Angry Men
12 Angry Men
is a
or-
great example.
Exactly. And that movie was made in the 40s, we said?
Yeah.
Like late 40s, early 50s. And it continues to be one of the greatest movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Sharkboy Lava Girl came out in 2005.
Oh, dude. Maybe it's just the year.
Maybe. Maybe. What happened
I'm trying to look at the movies
to where
right
that
now.
was socially acceptable? And I was going through some reviews, man. 10 out of 10s.
Yeah, people are giving it 9.
That's out of pocket.
10s, saying
Bruh.
like, it's the greatest movie.
The Longest Yard,
That's out of pocket.
The
right?
Longest Yard's funny.
Pride and Prejudice, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah. You
Came
talk
out.
you talk big game about that
I
one.
love Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Batman Begins.
2005?
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Batman Begins is a little underrated.
Underrated.
I think Batman Begins slaps. But Dark Knight is obviously the
That's the one
the
everyone
tor-
turns
that's
to.
the beacon.
This
Yeah.
is your movie, Brokeback Mountain.
I haven't even watched Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, but you talk a lot about it.
I want to watch it. It's
Yeah.
because it's got Heath and it has your boy.
I
Yeah.
won't watch it.
Jake Gyllenhaal, man.
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line's a slapper.
Yep.
House of Wax. I used to watch that movie so much.
That's a classic.
That's I'm not gonna
freaking
lie. I
classic.
used to watch that a lot.
I remember kids watching that when I was in school, and I was always like, "You guys are freaks."
Yeah,
man."
I would watch that. I was the freak, man.
I was scared of that stuff, dude. I wouldn't watch it.
No,
Zathura.
Yeah, Zathura's a slapper. I don't care what
Zathura-
anybody says.
Yeah.
Zathura's a certified hood classic.
That's what. That's Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins and freaking what's that
Corpse
kid?
Bride.
Corpse Bride's a certified
Oh,
hood
that's
classic too.
Yeah, that's freaking
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, I remember that
that's
with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Kicking
Weren't
and
they
Screaming?
married?
Yeah, they
I
were.
think they were married.
My dad loves Kicking and Screaming.
Oh, he played that for us, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic Four, the first one.
Yep. With Chris Evans as the Human Torch.
Charlie and the Chocolate
let's,
Factory.
Let's talk about Four Brothers.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
despite going down memory lane here, because man, I remember when Charlie and the Chocolate Factory came out. That's insane.
We've been talking about that recently. Just Lisa, Nick, and I were just like, dude,
'Cause
remember
it's-
this? Remember that?
Leaving Netflix.
Yeah.
As is Four Brothers.
Yes.
31st is the last day to watch it. But
Yeah.
it is on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
So you
So
still have somewhere to watch it.
perfect. So if you have Netflix, check it out by the end of the month, or go to Paramount Plus if you've got that and check it out there. Get a refresher, or if you haven't seen it, go watch it for the first time like Nick and I did and form your own opinions on it and see what you think. If you don't care about spoilers or anything, continue listening. If you do, pause the episode, go check it out, see what we have to say about it afterwards. But as always, I mean, you want to go ahead and start with your first favorite scene?
Yeah. My first favorite scene is probably like 10 minutes in. And it's after so we obviously get the beginning of the movie is literally the whole fire of the movie, if that makes sense. Like, the fuel of the movie.
Right.
And it's basically the mother of these 4 boys gets shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see that she's shot and killed trying to pick up a turkey from a grocery store. And but my first favorite scene is after the funeral when the cops show up and Mark Wahlberg, who is Bobby Mercer, and Jack Mercer is one of the brothers, and they're talking to Jeremiah's kids, the 2 little girls. And the cops show up and the little girl goes, "The police are here." And blah, blah, blah. But my favorite part is when Mark is just telling them to shut up and leave, like, just basically roasting the heck out of them.
Mm.
Because, one, they haven't done anything to find the killer. They, obviously, Detroit looks the same as he was, or as it was before he left. And I don't know where he leaves to. But
He was like locked up, from what I understood. Locked up.
Come on, Akon. But I just like it because I think I like Mark a lot in this movie, and I think maybe that's why it pulls me back, because the remarks that he says to the cop is funny.
Okay. What? Like, name a couple.
No, most of them have cuss words.
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about the one where he says, the cop says, like, "Are you keeping it straight or something?"
straight. He goes straight-ish.
Dude, Mark Wahlberg confirmed LGBTQ alliance, bro.
He said,
I'm straight-ish.
wink, wink. And no one's looking.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But he said this arrow isn't always straight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Four
But,
brothers, not by blood. That's nasty. That's how.
I hate you right now.
But he is the type of guy that's like, he is the one, like, they all have really like archetypal roles, honestly.
Yeah.
And Mark Wahlberg is that, like,
He's the macho
And
man.
they make sure to set that up
They
with
do.
the cops sitting there. And this was one of the things where I was like, oh, dude, they're just doing this big exposition dump.
at the beginning.
Where they're like, who's that? That's Bobby Mercer. He just got out of prison. He's one tough guy. You don't want to mess with him.
Look at his tattoos.
Yeah, one time.
He doesn't even have tattoos.
It was told
It
that
says
he took
no
on,
mercy.
that he took on 40 people, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, oh, man, we don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says no mercy on his back, but then there's another shot, I think, where
And
his
it
tattoos are
disappears.
gone.
It disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, maybe that's why I didn't notice it.
Yeah. Man.
I don't know. I just like Mark Wahlberg in this movie. So maybe that's why.
Okay. All right. This is going to be tough for me, man. I have pretty much no favorite scenes. It was difficult to pull out some diamonds in the rough, as you'll say. The first one I want to talk about, though, is a little bit down the line, and it's when they're in the driving sequence.
Okay.
And they're in the driving chase. If you have anything before that.
Yeah.
I have one before it.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's after they do a little funeral party at Jeremiah's house. They all go back to Mom's house, and Bobby, Angel, and Jack and Jeremiah are all there, and they all decide to have like a Thanksgiving dinner together because mom would have wanted it. And the only reason I really liked this scene is because I felt that they really built up this idea of brotherhood between the two, and I can relate to it because of my relationship with my brothers. When I was a kid, we were always fooling around and hurting each other and like wrestling and all that stuff, and our mom always had to come up to us and be like, stop, it's gonna get serious, and it was one of those things where like they're messing around with one another, and I think is it Angel is like throwing those like stereo discs at Bobby.
Goes, quit it.
And they keep saying like stop, and then he's throwing them at Jeremiah, right?
He throws them at Bobby,
and then he starts throwing them at Jeremiah, and then Jeremiah and Angel start wrestling and fighting, and they're on the floor wrestling around, and then Bobby's in the background being like, "Oh, Jeremiah, you gonna let him do that to you? Like, you gonna get him?" And it's one of those things where that felt like my childhood, and I was like, okay, like this feels real, and it felt like there was really good chemistry in that setting, and then I liked the Thanksgiving and them getting together and having the scene with them just hanging around eating dinner, and then it threw me off, dude. Whenever they all started seeing visions of their mother,
my jaw hit the floor when I saw her ghost on the end of the table,
and they were like, "You always chew with your mouth open. Make sure you keep your mouth closed." And he's all closes his mouth, and he looks at Angel, and he's all, "Don't you close your mouth, man? You're born in a barn. You chew like a cow or something." And then he's like, "Oh, okay." And then Tyrese character looks at where mom would sit, and he sees a vision of her.
This is the worst part.
I forget what she even says.
Dude, no.
She's like, "Get your elbow off the table."
And then he does it, and then you see his arm, and she goes, "More tattoos, Angel,"
and he like tries to cover it up.
And she goes, "Don't cover it. I got mine." Shows her and then winks.
Yeah.
What? Oh, dude.
How can you look at that and not be completely embarrassed?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, "Are you freaking joking me right now?"
That almost seemed like she was trying to seduce him.
Yeah.
Like I'm showing you some skin.
She's all, "Look at me."
It was
so cringe.
Scoop my eyeballs out with spoons.
Say, please.
I also thought the scene was confusing because Jeremiah has a family.
Yeah.
So why isn't the family there with the brothers on Thanksgiving?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's spending time with his brothers, their mom.
But their family.
Their mom just died. I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
you would think you'd want it real jovial and the house
that's
full.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, not sure.
I thought about that and I was like,
'Cause I know that was the same thing. Like when my grandma passed away, everybody was together, and we were all together for like 3 or 4 days, and just just making sure everybody was good, spending time with one another, and making sure everybody is getting through this all together.
Yeah.
It wasn't like my dad and his brothers are like, "All right, we're gonna go be alone together,
and you guys go
do whatever. You guys go do something." It was like, no, we're all family. We're all gonna do something.
That's
together.
why I was like, bro, I'm so confused. Why?
Yeah, not sure, because that's their grandma.
Yeah.
Like I would assume that they would.
Even in the beginning of the movie, she goes, "Well, Grandma Evelyn was white."
Yeah. And then because they talk about Bobby's like, "Oh, I'm not like your biological uncle, but I am
I'm your uncle.
Dad's brother, so I'm your uncle."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This comes up to your scene, which I want to know what you're going to say about it, because I like this scene.
So
it was so hard to watch.
It was so difficult.
Dude, it's because of the snow. And what I've heard was that it's like real.
Yeah, it's one of my facts.
Real.
Yeah.
But it was hard to watch, and then some of the car looks like CGI.
It does. I thought that the snow was like a CGI screen over the camera. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of
like old school games.
Yeah, like the Grand Theft Auto remake where they did the
rain,
and it just looks like a filter.
Yeah, that's why I was like, dude,
it actually looked like it's in game.
They actually used real snow. I was surprised by that, and it does. It makes it really hard to see what's going on. I'm trying to even think about context for this scene. They're trying to figure out the murder.
People that killed them.
They're trying to
killed the mom.
Yeah, so they go through a kid. The kid brings them to a guy in an apartment. The apartment guy brings them to another guy at a bar/party thing, and they approach the guy, and immediately a shootout. like there's
the no words are said.
No,
they just
they're-
immediately start.
They're
They
shooting.
sort
literally
of
in
go-
the bar, and the guy just goes, "Hey, look over there."
He said, check
And
out
looks-
those clowns at the entrance.
And then they
And then
look over.
bah,
and
bah,
just
bah,
boom,
bah,
boom.
yeah.
Like no like precaution for anybody else.
No,
No
setup.
tension building.
Nothing at all. It just immediately starts in the shootout. They run out the back. They get in the car, and they're shooting their shotgun at the car. He's like, "Hey, get in." I think Bobby's driving, right?
Bobby's driving. Jeremiah's Angel's in the front, and Jack is in the back.
Yeah.
I don't.
It has a really cringe line too, where I have it written down because I heard it, and the way Mark Wahlberg says it, I was like, oh, it sounds so white saying it. He says, pull that cannon out and bust some shots at those guys.
Yeah.
I was all, oh, dude, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah. I was like, the whole time he's had that gun too, and they haven't been using it.
Yeah.
Man, the scene is just terrible. The driving choreography is, you can barely see what's going on. It's my favorite scene just because of how freaking funny it is. Where Mark Wahlberg is like, "Oh, I'm gonna ram him," and they hit each other, they spin, they do
Yeah.
all this stuff.
It's funny too because I was thinking that the camera work makes it look like it makes the camera look like it's going really fast, but the cars are going so slow.
Yes, like 30 miles an hour.
Like the cars are like driving like they would like on Robertson.
Yeah,
Just 30 miles an hour, just sitting there, but the camera's like just moving around and making it look like it's really fast.
yeah, and shaky too.
Yeah.
which adds to the obscurity of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up too because earlier we get scenes of them shooting weapons, and it doesn't seem like anything is coming out of the gun. You know what I mean? Like they have blanks, and it's just like bam, bam.
Yeah, there's no, like,
there's no recoil.
recoil.
Yeah, they're just going bam, bam. And that's when he pulls the gun out, and he does that same thing out the window. And I was so sure that it was just gonna be like, "Oh, you're missing all your shots. You suck." But they actually, he actually gets him a
Yeah.
few times, and I was like, "We're gonna see some blood. This is gonna be worthy of the rated R."
Yeah.
So
The blood
no.
is very
I think you see blood
Very-
like
very
twice.
minuscule.
twice.
Even in like one of the most like violent murders that happened, where like Andre 3000 freaking stabs that guy.
I gotta
Yeah.
wipe the kids.
And, like no blood comes out. Like I think it's just on the knife whenever it's done, and the guy's just like
Yeah.
like it's like nothing that happens after.
Yeah. And to finish off the scene, they end up flipping the car, and they straight up execute them.
This scene was cringe for me too, though, because they treat Jack like he's the littlest kid ever.
I don't like Jack. Bro.
They disrespect him hard, though. He's like, "Oh, what kind of weapon can I get?" And they give him a tire iron. They go, "Hey, you poke him with that." I
Yeah.
was like, they freaking hate this guy, dude.
Because they treat him
Yeah.
like a kid.
Yeah.
But this, I was just like, that even confirms it like they treat him like crap. Is when they go to execute him, he goes, "Stay here, Bobby. You're too little for this." And then right when they shoot those two people, Jack goes,
He like hesitates, huh?
"Yeah."
See, I was curious because it didn't really make sense to me because he was the one that was shooting at them in the first place with the shotgun when they were in the car driving away.
No, it was Angel.
Was it Angel?
Yeah.
I could have swore it was Jack.
Yeah, you
man.
already forgot it.
I could have swore Jack was doing it because when I saw him, I was like, "Bro, you're already shooting at him. Just finish the job." It doesn't. You didn't seem that.
Finish the job.
You didn't seem that pressed against it at the beginning. Why are you now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the end of one of my favorite-ish scenes.
Okay. What's your next one?
You don't have a next one? I thought you
I
had
have
like
next
4 or
one.
5
I
of
have
them.
2 more.
Okay.
Do you have any more?
Nope.
My next one is the shootout. The big shootout
At the house?
at the house.
Okay.
Oh, mine's after that. Yeah, let's talk about this because this is crazy.
This is a crazy scene. Basically,
It happens out of nowhere.
yeah.
like it's like Grand Theft Auto, like some gang
Like a
war
mission,
just
like-
starts out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's my favorite scene just because what happens and what so many things just happen at the same time.
Yeah, it's because of dumb Jack, dude.
It's Jack's
I
fault.
hated it. He like the guy freaking throws the snowball at him. He's like, "F your dead grandmother" or something like that. And he's all,
He goes, "Your mom was a H word,"
"Oh, okay."
and
And he's all,
don't disrespect my mom. And
Yeah.
he picks up
a big setup.
a snowball to throw at him, throws at him, and the guy just turns around. He's just wearing a Jason mask. And
yeah,
and
yeah,
just goes.
boom, boom.
It surprised me.
Yeah,
I didn't think that they were going to do this. And I could have sworn to you, this scene was very familiar for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it was one of those compilations of like worst death scenes. This would be number 1 in my opinion, dude.
Oh,
when he
okay.
goes, okay,
When he gets shot and he's going,
yeah. No, Abraham corrected me. I could have swore to you that Jack was screaming out "mommy."
yeah, he was.
No, he's screaming Bobby.
Oh, dude, I thought he was going, mommy.
I thought he
No,
was
he's
too.
screaming Bobby.
dude.
And he's spitting that white stuff out. I was like,
Yeah, dude, he's straight up leaking from his nose.
yeah, I was like, dude.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, he's trying so hard for the Oscar.
Yeah.
He thought I was going to win him the Oscar.
I was like, dude, you're trying so hard. And I feel nothing for you.
Yeah. I hated how it looked like he was just, like, nutting.
Seriously.
like
Ethan.
he's just sitting there just going, like the whole time that he was dying.
Yeah.
I was just like, you're
Stop.
dying. Stop, bro. You're dying.
It's overacting.
Yeah.
Like to a T,
yeah.
right? That's why I thought it was familiar. But you want to...
It's just like I said, a lot of things happen. One thing that I don't understand is how do the brothers not hear the gunshots?
What do you mean?
They don't hear the gunshots because they realize he's just not there, and they go,
Jack. Where's Jack?
and then they look outside, and that's when he's yelling, Bobby!
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, how do you not hear gunshots?
I
True.
don't know.
One of the questions I had too is how did they not get in trouble afterwards? You know,
The cop said,
Self-defense, right?
they're trying to build this cop of a being this like for the people, for
Yeah.
the neighborhood, and they do nothing with it.
No.
They literally just like use his character. It's
Yeah.
what's his name? It's Terrence Howard.
Green. Oh,
Green.
Lieutenant Green.
Yeah, Lieutenant Green is Terrence Howard. Pointless character.
Yeah.
They build it. They're like, oh, he's a man.
He's a man of the people.
He's a
He won't take any crooked cops. And then he's like, self-defense, right? And he's like, no, these guys murdered these other people.
There's
bro.
like freaking 15
5
guys out there.
bodies.
Yeah.
I was so confused on and it was one cop's word, one cop saying, "Oh, let it slide," but everyone else is not just like, "Dude, they just killed 30 people out here." Like, what are you talking about? They have tons of guns, tons of weapons,
Yeah.
and they're just not getting in trouble for it.
Yeah. One of the things that blew me away too was Victor's suite gets built up as just this like gang
Who
boss,
sent you?
right?
Who sent you?
Right. He just gets built up as like a kingpin of some sort,
Yeah.
right? How are his men able to afford these like state of the art weapons, like weapons you see in like Modern Warfare 2, where
An AUG.
Yeah,
no,
like, they straight up has an AUG.
An AUG and an MP5, dude.
yeah, like how do they have that stuff if they're just gangs? Like, if anything, maybe like a Mac 10 or like an Uzi or something like that. But like they have straight up assault weapons that the military uses,
Your guess is
and
Was
they
it
never
AUG?
reload.
they never reload.
I was
dude.
that was one thing.
You only see one reload,
They
that's
only
all.
reloaded when it was convenient for Bobby to shoot him.
no. How'd you
For
feel
him to
about?
throw the brick.
Yeah, how'd you feel
Yeah.
about that scene when he looked through the hole in the brick and then he looked at the brick, dude?
Yeah.
Because
The
he literally
actual-
just looks like. He's looking through the hole and just goes.
He looks, oh my gosh, and point. I was like, what are you going to do with the brick? He straight up throws it.
Yeah,
Decks him in the head, dude.
yeah. That was one thing for me was they never reloaded.
Never.
That guy that was just unloading on the brick, just had infinite ammo. Was just going.
He had mods.
He had mods on. He had God mode on. He was just sitting there, just holding the trigger.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, man.
Well, another thing that's pretty funny too. Whenever you see the brick getting shot at, you can see the wall bouncing.
Can
Oh,
you?
like it wasn't built correctly?
Yeah, which is pretty funny.
That's
Like
funny.
you know it's a set?
Yeah, you could see that it's like totally a set because the wall's just going like flexing.
Yeah. Oh, and isn't this the whole time too where we haven't even talked about her Sofia Vergara's character? I think her name is Sophie, right?
Yeah,
Sophie.
It's
She gets-
Angel's
Angel's girl.
girl. And she the whole time isn't she like, "Oh my god," like going
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah,
I
she
hate
gets
Sophie.
cast as like
I hate
the
Sophie.
stereotypical like
Fiery Latina.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
loca.
Dude. Can we let's talk about that scene too whenever
In the beginning,
in the beginning when
when
he's
he
like,
goes, I'm gonna go for a little.
I'm gonna go for a walk.
first."
It's a little heavy.
"Oh, we get some fresh air."
and he's
and
all, "No, you're gonna go see that girl." And he's all, "No, I'm not."
You can smell La Vida Loca from a mile away.
And
And then literally the next scene, they're running away, and he's like in
How
a robe
serious
or
are you
something.
with him?
Yeah, and that guy's just shooting and driving and shooting at Tyrese. And what song is playing?
I don't
Like
know.
I swear it's like move, get out the way, get out the way, and they're just running. Like it was like,
I'm
what
gonna
is
find
this?
it
What
right
is this
now.
scene for?
I won't play it, but I'm gonna find it.
And it kind of blows me away because that was one of the scenes where there's actual violence happening, and you get this real interconnected brotherness, and if anyone messes with us, we're gonna get them back. We're
Yeah.
gonna take revenge, and nothing comes of this. He was literally getting shot at, and the brothers are like, whatever, bro.
Jeremiah straight up is like, I'm running, bro.
Yeah, so
I'm going to the van.
You're on your own, bro.
It was a bro moment though. Whenever he smashes into that
Yeah,
that other van.
that is true. He did save him.
Yeah,
He kind of decided, I'm with the brothers,
yeah,
and he saved him,
yeah.
which is another kind of crazy moment there.
How cringe was it whenever Jack was dying and Bobby looks at him and says, "Don't die on me, you little F slur," and calls him a fairy.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
He'd done that once before in the film.
yeah,
I didn't know. While he's dying,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, give him some love.
yeah. be compassionate to him.
He's
or
like,
something.
you mother.
Yeah,
And then dies. And then
Yeah,
like,
and he's
you want
just-
your last words?
Yeah, while Jack is literally going.
Just
Just
That
dying,
reminds me.
dude.
He reminds me of that meme of that guy who's like that, but he has a vein
yeah,
popping
it's
out.
like it's like holding in your font.
Yeah, yeah. It was a wild scene to say the least.
And to think that this is like the big climax moment too.
That was.
It's
Like-
not even though. It's not even the big climax moment.
You
This
don't think
movie
so?
goes on for like 20 more minutes after that.
With the completely random
Like
plot.
subplot where it's like, oh no, we gotta get Victor
Victor
Sweet
Sweet.
back now. And
He took two of my brothers, or he took one of my brothers.
And my mom.
That's enough payment.
yeah,
So I'm gonna give him $40,000.
$400,000.
Oh yeah, $400,000.
yeah, yeah. I just didn't really like the whole plot line where Andre was like low on cash. So what did he even do? Like
I don't know.
He put like a hit on his own mom
No.
to get an insurance check or something.
No.
Like I don't even understand how he was supposed to collect that.
That's what they played it up as, but in reality, he was just paying for her life insurance.
And he was the beneficiary and then got it.
Yeah, because he was the one taking care of her. None of the other brothers were. It was just him. So whenever she died, he was going to use that money.
Yeah, but what
pay
was
off.
the point of killing her?
No, he didn't. He didn't have any plan in that. He didn't pay off the guys.
Oh, so they killed his mom.
So they killed his mom and ended his whole
His business
His
thing.
business.
Okay.
So it was because he got mixed up with those guys and he didn't pay them, and he didn't. And they basically ruined his business and
And
decided
his
to kill
life.
the mom. Yeah.
Man, Andre 3000 making bad decisions out here.
Bad
I'm sorry.
decisions.
He said, "I'm sorry,
Miss
Mr. Jackson." Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided to show it like that too. Of like there being this whole conspiracy plot of Jerry. You know,
They could have made it so much more simple and easy to follow, but they
Yeah.
made it like extremely convoluted for no reason.
they did because they have the brothers split up, and you have Angel kind of following Jerry, and you have the two other brothers going to the council member, threatening to burn him alive, and all this stuff. And you,
Anytime they pulled out the jerry can, dude, I was dying.
Yeah.
I know they do it often, and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, man. Okay, we'll go to my last favorite scene here. It is pretty much at the end. It's when Fowler is convinced that all the cops are coming.
Are coming to save him.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this: was the entire plan to get Sophia to go to the cops?
No, I think Sophia was just going to the cops because she was scared. I don't think Angel
it
was
had
wearing
to
a
be part of
mic.
the plan. It had to be part of the
It
plan.
had to be because
No,
that.
I don't think Angel was wearing a mic because at the
No,
end.
he wasn't wearing a mic.
It was a fake mic.
Exactly.
It was a fake mic, and I think Sophia started the whole thing because she was like, "Oh my!" He said he was gonna go kill a cop, and they all showed up to his house, and he was like, "Oh, I played you."
Okay, here's the caveat here. If it was in the plan, then I think her character is slightly redeemed. If it was not, and she just was like, I'm loca, I'm going to go tell the police.
He talked about killing a cop.
Completely unredeemable. She's the trashiest character ever.
I
Like,
don't
I
like
hated
Sophie.
her. When I saw her there, I was like, I was like, I'm so freaking annoyed with you right now. If this isn't part of the plan, which I didn't think it was at the beginning.
I don't
It
think
seemed
it
like
was.
it seemed like it was to me.
Okay.
I had thought that they planned it to where she was going to go report it, and then he was going to show up and act like he was with the cops and that he had a mic and stuff, and then there was going to be this whole big shootout or something.
That's big brain moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Context for this scene.
Which I don't know if I could put. I don't know if I would attribute that to Mark Wahlberg, because I don't think Mark Wahlberg is smart enough to come up with something like
No.
No. Even Angel says this requires a little more finesse that you don't have.
that. Yeah.
But
I hate how he does finesse though. He goes finesse like it's
Like
not,
a-
it's
Isn't
not
he
a
like,
rod.
isn't he like on the toilet when
Yes.
he says that
Yes.
too? I hated that whole scene in the toilet.
Let me wipe my butt. Wait for me.
they're
What is
really close for brothers, bro. I would never do that.
Poop in the shower or poop in the shower.
No, I don't.
Wait. What?
Waffle stomp it.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Waffle stuff.
I haven't heard of waffle stop in so long.
Bro, your
To be
bro-
pooping while your brother's in the shower next to you.
I've done
No
that
way.
before.
That's too much.
That's too.
You've
then
never
he-
done
I'm
that?
taking a shower. I don't want to smell that. That's nasty.
Dude, and freaking Jack walks out, and he doesn't even like try to cover his junk. He just walks out and puts it around.
Yeah, he's
And then-
also just straight up looks at Angel's junk.
Yeah.
And he's
Carpet
all,
run. Carpet burn.
Yeah, rug burn. It was like,
I'm like, dude, I would never be that comfortable
yeah,
with all that.
no way. Yeah.
But going back to my favorite scene, context for it is Lieutenant Green. He's the all-around good cop. He is with his partner. His name is Fowler.
I hate Fowler.
And Fowler is this.
Dude, Fowler is in Dead Poet Society.
He is.
He
Yeah.
is. Holy cow.
Yeah, Josh Charles is his actual name. He is a corrupt, dirty cop, and he's working for Victor Sweet.
Mm.
And this is when he ends up doing some stuff, and he's we know he's absolutely corrupt. And Angel goes to his house because for some reason Fowler being on the ice lake hinges everything hinges on Fowler being at the ice lake for some reason. They were like if Victor Sweet sees that Fowler's at the ice lake, oh, he's probably not going to go through with the plan. But he wasn't going to go through with it anyways.
Yeah, it looked like he was getting ready to just like
To just
go
ice
to work. Like Fowler was getting ready for the day to just go to work.
Yeah, I didn't know why they had to keep him away.
Yeah, I have no clue.
But Angel goes there to do that, and Mark Wahlberg's waiting for the phone call to say that he's neutralized or whatever. But he goes in there, and they they have a pretty intense fight. Honestly, knock the gun away. He gets the gun out, or Angel's pointing at him, and he goes, I'm gonna get you. And then sirens start going.
Get you.
Sirens start going, and then Fowler's like, oh, I love that sound. That's the sound of my boys coming. They're going to come save me. And he goes, they just heard everything you just said right now because
Yeah.
I got you on wire.
Yeah.
And he's basically trying to fool him, saying like, oh, the cops know that you're dirty. They're coming for you now.
Yeah.
And Fowler completely believes it. Completely and totally believes it. And somehow he gets the gun back.
Yeah.
And decides to go outside with him as a hostage. And all the cops are out there like,
They're like,
Oh,
oh,
what
what,
are you
Fowler?
doing?
What are you doing? Put the gun down.
we're here for, we thought you were the hostage. What are you doing? And I don't think he hears them. Because he straight up goes, ah, God.
Yeah.
Shoots at the cops.
Yeah.
Did not know what his exit plan was.
No.
But I love the scene of that sniper just going right in his heart.
Yeah.
I was like, good, you deserve death right now.
Yeah.
But just everything leading up to it was completely ridiculous. And I laughed when it happened. So it was one of my favorites.
You know, I laughed whenever Mark Wahlberg has his big last reveal where he's just walking
On
out
ice
of
and he's
nowhere. Like, where was he?
I hate that he walks like Conor McGregor
Yeah.
with the stupid.
Yeah. Well, I want to know where he was. Like, was he waiting super far away and then
he had
just
to walk.
started just walking? Because there's no car behind him, nothing. It's just we believed that he like walked from wherever he was to the
I imagine he's having to like sprint to get to the like there before everything happens, and he's like,
Yeah.
he gets
Wait
there.
for me. Let me take a breath.
I imagine him walking like that, and I hear like, have you ever heard of that Eminem song "Till I Collapse"?
Yeah.
And I hear that in the background of him just going, Dun, 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 dun,
Going
dun, dun.
left, right,
Yeah, dude, that's the vibe I get from that scene.
yeah.
And they try to make it all like bad A.
Yeah, he's like, subliminal nibble, my biminal nibble, down your nibble.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I couldn't take it seriously. And the whole like group turn on Victor Sweet.
We were together for the union days.
Yeah. We'd all decided you weren't paying us enough, so guess what? We're unionizing against you. And he's like, what? No, yeah, guess what? We're going to split all this money between all of us.
What did he say? He's like, I don't know what name he goes. He goes something. Pistol. And just stands
Yeah,
there.
and they all just stare at him. And it really reminded me of like a lesser version of what Training Day was at the end.
Yes.
And it sucked because I was like, Training Day was so like,
it didn't really even work there for me either.
But even then, whenever it did happen in Training Day, we had stuff that was built up that made us believe that Denzel Washington's character was a piece of trash.
Yeah.
With this guy, Victor Sweet, the only thing we get to see from him is just that he's like, eat that food off the floor like a dog, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, you're his wife, right? Join him. She's like,
Yeah.
okay, and then they do it. It's like we never get to see anything that shows us that this guy is like someone to be afraid of.
Yeah. There's one other scene too where he's talking to that like dude with the handlebar mustache or the
I hate.
Yeah,
And
with the fedora.
yeah, and he goes, "Oh, you're going on vacation with your girl, with your Italian girl?" He's like, "You might have to share her."
No, he should have. I know. I hate it because
He's almost teach her a few tricks.
he goes.
Something
He
like
goes.
that.
You're marrying that fine piece of Italian or something like that. And he goes, yeah, next spring. And he goes, what? Can I send you on some out of town work and leave me with your wife or your fiance so I can teach her some tricks? And he thinks he's like being genuine. And he goes, yeah, she can use some cooking lessons. And he goes, I'm gonna teach her something more than cooking.
It's like so overtly villainous
Yeah,
that it seems so
It's try hard.
fake, so fake.
He's
dude.
trying hard.
it's try hard.
It's like I'm gonna say something. It's the most villain thing right now, and like I'm building it up.
Yeah, and it doesn't
When he's
feel
talking
earned.
to councilman, did you say my name?
He pulls out his tie and he goes, "Wah."
Yeah, and one of the things was like he pulled it down and the guy acted like he was choking.
I know,
He was like,
and you're
It's
just
like-
barely holding him down there.
but even then, like he's pulling
When
down.
you pull a tie, you're not choking.
It was like not tight on his neck. Like, I just didn't get it. It was, yeah, I didn't like the whole setup for Victor Sweet and how he's supposed to be this like, this boogeyman.
Yeah.
But it's like, make me believe he's scary.
Yeah.
Instead of him just being like, eat that food.
Yeah, I didn't even like his death scene either. I think that was
Yeah,
insanely.
Mark Wahlberg's got
Got those
he's
hands.
got those little Mac punches where he could just like uppercut somebody and kill him.
and kill him.
Yeah.
And the way that they shoot it too is like they're all circling around him, pushing him, and then like it's the shakiest camera I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah.
It's so unsatisfying to see him die like this.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too. Whenever they throw him in the block, and all the guys instantly like all surround it because they instantly you could tell it was like a dummy.
It was
that
a dummy bot,
floating.
yeah.
So they all like huddle around it so you can't see it
Yeah.
anymore. Like they're watching him drown. And
Yeah.
I immediately caught on to it. It was so funny.
Yeah. It's one of the I didn't expect. I thought the ending would be at least somewhat satisfying, and I found none of that there. None of it.
And this is the thing too. That's not even the ending.
It's not.
It's not.
Like that's like it still goes on another 10 minutes. I think
They have
after
to
that.
leave it on a lighthearted note
Yeah.
when we get to see they decide to show the police is so corrupt too, because they're straight up wailing on them in the like interrogating them.
Yeah.
That's my next favorite. That's my last favorite scene.
Okay, bring it up.
And it's just the interrogation scene because they're looking for Victor Sweet. Surprisingly, somebody called Victor Sweet is missing.
Mhm.
And they're like, who killed him? But how do you know he's dead? That's what I didn't understand. But it's my favorite scene because of what the three brothers just tell the cops the whole time. And the cops were like, I want to know where you were at between the times of 5 p.m. and 4 a.m. And all the brothers are like, all right, you want to know what I did? I did it. I did it. And the cops are like, okay, say it in the mic what I did. And my favorite one, and one of my favorite quotes is, It's from Jeremiah. He goes, well, between the times of 5 and 4, I was in your house doing the uglies with your wife. And then they just start wailing on it. and then you see the other brothers. You see Angel and Bobby, and they're just like,
They all say
I
the same
did it.
thing.
And I was like, we were with your wife. And it's just funny.
Yeah.
But the cops are corrupt. They're just beating the crap out of these fools.
Yeah, and then they let him go.
Yeah.
Like, after they just beat the crap out of
They're
him.
like, yeah, we don't have anything on you guys.
Bye.
When they if there were any type of like good police, they'd be like, oh, you just shot up 30 guys at your old grandma or your old mom's house, like.
And they were all Victor Sweet's men. There's
Yeah.
obviously some sort of connection there. You know where he is.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I was doing your wife. And they're like,
Like,
Get outta here.
They're like, oh, we got nothing. You could go.
yeah,
I'm like, how am I supposed to believe this, dude?
yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, that's the end, right? Is that the end?
Essentially.
Oh no,
essentially the
no,
end.
it's not. No, it's not.
And then they start rebuilding the house. And Darnell is like, hey, is Miss Evelyn dead?
Yeah.
Like, just
And he goes, yeah,
he's
she's
like, yeah,
dead.
she's dead.
It's the last scene is when he finally sees her in the
Yeah.
rocking chair, and she's like,
You sticking around
You
this time, Bobby?
Yeah, he's all, I was thinking about it.
it's like what, some kind of redemption arc for him or what?
No.
Apparently,
So what
I
I
don't
read
know.
about is that because in the Thanksgiving dinner scene, he's the only brother that doesn't see
Yeah.
her. So what I read is that finally he's accepting her death,
Her death.
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's why after Thanksgiving he didn't see her because he was not fully accepting it.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
That's
He
what I
was, still,
read.
he was pissed off.
He was
Man.
PO'd.
Strange way to show it, but
Yeah.
there you
But then
go.
my favorite song comes on.
For the third time.
I'm spilling these
time.
raps.
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I was thinking till I collapsed. I got it stuck in my head now.
The
All
Trouble
right.
Man comes on and
Oh,
you see
yeah.
credits.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
Yeah, it is 4 brothers.
Yeah.
So if that's it for the favorite scenes, let's get into some best quotes.
I only have one more because I already said one of them. And it's when they're chasing I don't know his name, but it's the guy with the afro. From the back.
Damien?
Damien. They're chasing him, and he's like swinging down out of this window.
The rope.
And they cut the rope, and he just falls. And Angel goes, "You think he's dead?" Bobby goes, "Nah, he ain't dead. He's just messed up."
Yeah.
He's effed up.
He's effed up. I started dying laughing. But that's my last quote.
Okay. My only one that I have is from Lieutenant Green, and he says something to the effect of, "You keep knocking on the devil's door long enough, and sooner or later, somebody's going to answer." And that was
When does that
really
get
it.
paid off?
Nothing. It doesn't.
Never gets paid
Because
off.
Never happened.
Fowler just straight up goes, "Hey, Green," and kills.
Like random.
I hate that scene
Yeah.
too. He goes, "Officer shot."
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
My one of my best quotes is from Damien as well, and it's when it made me bust up laughing, dude. So they're chasing him up the apartment. They get to floor 6, and he immediately pulls the gun out. Bobby does, and he goes, "Hey, I got a few questions for you." And he goes in, and he goes, my favorite quote. He goes, "I got something for your butt too." He looks down at his dogs, and he goes, "Bite his butt, Chucky." He drops him off, and then Mark Wahlberg decides to shoot at the dogs.
Yeah.
And then right after
He
that,
says,
he
"Hey,
goes,
don't shoot my dogs."
"Yeah," he goes, "Don't shoot my dogs, man." I was like, "What'd you expect?"
Yeah, he has a gun, bro. Like, what? Yeah.
The dog still ends up biting him too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they subdue him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get these dogs off me."
Yeah.
I was dying laughing. And then the last one is when Lieutenant Green is coming up after all the 30 guys have been shot outside. And one of the guys is like doing a report, and he goes, "Oh, sir, it's maximum ugly out here."
I had that written down as cringe, dude.
It's so bad.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, "What was that line,
Yeah.
dude?" It's maximum ugly. I was like,
It can't be real terminology, right?
No, it can't be.
Okay.
That had to be written by somebody who knows nothing. Like,
maximum ugly. I was like, you can't do any better than that.
it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, that was in one of my what didn't work was some of the cringe writing.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
I had that written down.
Okay, yeah.
Is that it for best quotes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into bro moment. The only bro moment I have is whenever Green gets shot and Fowler sets the whole thing up with the radio and the shooting and saying officer down and all that stuff. But that was the really only big bro moment for me.
What about you?
A big bro moment because I laughed watching it is when they see the footage of Evelyn getting shot.
Yeah.
And they see Evelyn, and the guy's right there, and she gets shot, and she's like this, and then it just
You see
jumps.
it cut. You see it cut.
So
Yeah.
bad.
It looks like whenever it happens, it looks like the actor that was on the CCTV like pulled the trigger and it didn't work. So then they cut it again and then pulled it, and then she was like, and fell back.
It was so bad. That was my bro moment because I'm like, bruh, why would they use that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it all mine, honestly. Seeing the mom at the dinner table I said it was weird and cringy, and I hate it. And then I put the snow scene, the car chase scene, because I was like, it's a nice clear day, and then suddenly
All of a sudden
it's
a
a blizzard. I was like, bro, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you don't have anything else
No,
that we haven't talked about yet?
all.
Yeah, not me.
Oh, what about them going to the gym and immediately holding the gun up in front of everybody?
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg's character.
That scene I just didn't like. Like it just didn't make sense to me that they go there and they're like, "Oh, this kid that knows something, he never wears jackets and he's
Which
got an
I don't
afro
understand.
or
That kid
something."
has a jacket,
He's
but
wearing a
doesn't have an
sweater.
afro.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, he wears a jacket or never wears a jacket, has an afro or something." And they interrupt this ball game, and Mark Wahlberg just pulls a gun out in an arena or like a gymnasium at a high school, and stops the ball and is like asking the whole gym this question, like, "Where is this guy? We're looking for him," and all this stuff. And then Jack just sees a guy just get up and walk out, and he's like, "Oh, it's got to be him."
Yeah.
And runs after him and says this cringe line of freaking, "Hey kid, no running in the halls."
Dude.
And he's like stops him from running away. And then eventually they like call like Bobby and Angel out into
I
the
hate
hall,
how they
right?
show him too because he goes, Bobby, and he's like holding it like this.
Yeah, he's all didn't understand why he did that. But
Yeah.
Hang loose.
yeah.
That was a bro moment, though. I thought it was them at, like, an actual school function,
That's what it seemed like.
right? Because there was
or
kids
just like
there.
just a
or
random
It has
pickup
to be
game.
like, yeah.
Like City League.
But I don't know.
I didn't understand.
You would still have to think that there'd be some kind of security there. He straight up walks out with a gun. And there's like at least 150 people there.
More. There has to be like a 200 or 300.
That's why I was like, are they like interrupting a school game or like a college level
Why is it
game
so
right now?
packed too, though?
I was like, what?
And he assaults the guy with throwing the ball at his face.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big bro moment. I can't believe I almost forgot about that.
Or you know what's another huge bro moment I didn't write down was when they go to that abandoned building
Yep.
that's like being used as a club for some reason.
Yeah, and
they just come in with guns and they're like, "Oh, police,
What's
oh,
your favorite
cops."
quote?
oh no, it's Mark Wahlberg is like imitating a girl.
Yeah,
and he
and
goes,
he's like, "They killed cornbread." I was all, "What, dude? What?"
they killed cornbread. It's a literal quote from this.
Like if
he's
I
like,
was-
they killed him. He didn't even do nothing.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous, man.
It was wild too because they just find this guy and they're like, "You were playing basketball or something
what
at the time. You saw it. You know what happened. The lights didn't turn off until 11. We're gonna kill you if they don't turn off at 11. Come with us." And they just take
And
this
of
guy.
course, they're a couple seconds late.
Yeah.
He's like, "See, I told you."
Yeah, he's like, "See, I told you, blast this fool." And it's like, oh, they turned off at 10:02 or 10:05 or
it's-
whatever it was. Yeah.
This is the first thing that we get to see too with the jerry can. And he goes,
Yeah.
the girl, I think it's just,
He's all, "I'm gonna light all you guys on fire." He starts like pouring the gas on people.
Yeah. That's man, his signature move right there, dude.
Yeah. He's just essentially
a mob boss.
no, I was gonna say Trevor from GTA 5.
Bruh. Yes.
Yeah, Trevor
Yes.
from GTA 5
Just with
literally
more hair.
just lighting everything on fire.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
more hair and not on drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah. All right. Any other bro moments?
No, I think we hit them all.
Okay, let's get into some facts then.
All right.
I'm sure this movie made a killing.
Yeah, and not that much actually. It took $45 million to make this movie though.
With some of the heavy hitters,
That makes sense.
I would expect most of that to be just paying these fools.
Yeah. Opening weekend it made 21.1 million though.
Yeah.
Gross for U.S. and Canada 74.4 million,
Mhm.
and then gross worldwide is 92.3 million.
So it did well.
It doubled its money.
It did well.
It did, yeah.
And this is the type of movie. It's like
What's that-
summer
what-
summer blockbuster type.
Yeah, it
film
came out
where
in summer. and-
It's people are gonna go see it and then be like, oh, that movie was sick, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a
It's a
Yes.
macho guy movie.
Yeah.
no. There's a name that I'm looking for that you said it before. It's that type of movie.
Airplane movie.
Yes, I think this is an airplane movie.
It's one of those ones where you pretty much have to turn your brain off.
Yeah.
And maybe you can enjoy it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a plot about revenge, which I think always hits with a lot of people. They're just like, "Oh, they killed your mom. Go get them. Get revenge." You know, I feel like that could be somewhat relatable to the mass
Yeah.
population. So I can see why it would do well.
Yeah. This movie was definitely geared towards appeasing the masses
For
and
sure.
and
Mhm.
making money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could tell. One of the facts I have written down in regards to some of the lines here that we talked about,
Mhm.
many of Mark Wahlberg's lines were improv. And the guy that plays Jack, Garrett Hudland, had difficulty improvising his lines, so director John Singleton and Mark Wahlberg would help him through his improvised lines.
Mhm.
Well, they would dog on him. How do you respond with the
No.
way they dog on him?
You can tell that
Yeah.
he was not comfortable in the position he was.
Yeah.
Because did he even like reply at all, or did he just be like, "Yeah, okay," or
Most
what?
of the time.
Like I can't remember a specific quote that
Jack
he's had.
Loki reminds me of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
You want to know what blows my mind too is he went on to do Tron Legacy.
Yeah, he's the Tron guy.
Yeah, and I liked him in Tron Legacy.
Yeah. I remember I freaking seeing Jeff Bridges like artificially young. It
Yeah.
was so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy that he actually got more roles.
Yeah. You got any crazy facts?
I have one. I'll steal from you. There was a lot of casting decisions that were made. One of the ones that I wanted to focus on, though, I think would probably work. It is the most funny way ever. But Evelyn Mercer, I don't remember the lady's name. It's funny that she's not even like the front cast. She's like deep in the cast that you have to get to her name.
No, she's in the first page.
She's in the first page?
Yeah.
Am I missing her? What's her name? Do you have her name on hand? Fionnuala Flanagan.
Yes, I don't know how to say that.
So they were originally going to cast Betty White
As the mom?
as the mom.
Bro. That would have made it a comedy.
It would have, wouldn't it?
It would have made it a comedy, I think.
And I think there would be some redeeming qualities. I'd be like, oh, but Betty White.
Yeah.
Betty White's there.
Yeah.
Betty White died, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P.
This year, no?
I
I think so.
I think she died like a day before her 100th birthday.
Yeah, she did.
It was very sudden.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Older than sliced bread?
What?
That's just what everyone says about her.
I have a quote though, not quote. So almost the entire soundtrack that's played in this movie is from the early 1970s, and John Singleton used it because he calls that the dark years of Motown, which is considered Detroit.
Okay. That's interesting because I think the soundtrack does
Is-
work for this
The
film.
soundtrack is amazing for this.
I really do like the soul that's used, as well as a lot of Marvin Gaye and all that stuff. I do like that the vibe that they're going for, but sometimes it just doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
I believe I had spoken about a couple of casting what ifs, and for people who said that they didn't want to be involved with the film because of it being too violent. So let's talk about those. Brad Pitt and Vin Diesel were originally considered for the role of Bobby, and Ethan Hawke, Matt Damon, and Ben Affleck all turned down the part of Bobby. Ethan Hawke loved the script but could not commit to it because of scheduling conflicts, and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck both said no because they found the script to be ultra violent.
Imagine Ethan Hawke. That's your boy.
It's similar to Training Day. I could see
It
why he
is.
would gravitate towards the script, but it's
Yeah.
like to play as Bobby,
Yeah.
he doesn't seem like, oh, I just got out of prison and I can have all these random quips that talk about how long my dong is. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
he's like all up his own butt.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke, to me, I don't think he can pull.
I could see Vin Diesel doing it.
I could see. I see.
But that's because Vin Diesel is the family man.
Yeah, and he's in those slocky freaking Fast and Furious movies.
Yep.
So he's already proven that his quality isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
I have a fact I'll probably steal from one of you guys. It's that there were plans for a sequel called Five Brothers.
Yeah. I really want to know what the story would have been.
Dude,
Like,
I
is there
don't
just
understand.
randomly a brother? Like, randomly a brother shows up, or they're like,
no, they would
"Oh,
need two.
Yeah, it's true
Or-
because it need to be 5.
Yeah, they would. There's 3. Who would they fill?
I have no clue.
And B.
Or they're like, oh man, we found out Jack actually had 2 biological brothers. Now they're ours.
Dude.
We take them in. Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I can't even imagine the scripting for that, dude.
Yeah, I have no clue.
One thing that I thought was kind of wild was the car chase scene. That was all mapped out by Hot Wheels.
So they did like a storyboard with Hot Wheels
Yeah.
and then shot it in real
Yeah.
life. That's funny. Another thing I have here in regards to the drafts of the screenplay. In the first draft of the screenplay, none of the brothers were supposed to die.
Oh.
But in the second draft, Jack ends up getting killed. The screenwriters had thought that it would add more of an intense dislike for Victor Sweet and a more emotional state for the rest of the brothers.
The real
Which-
reason he couldn't improvise. So they
Yeah.
said, if he can't roll, like he can't
He
read his
can't
lines,
act?
let's just kill him.
Yeah.
Kill them off. Yeah.
Oh.
And another casting what if, which is my last fact as well. Denzel Washington was originally in talks for the role of Victor Sweet.
Here's the thing. He probably could have pulled it off.
He probably could have. But he would have done the same thing as he did in Training Day, I think. Like, especially at the end where the King Kong ain't got crap on me.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been the same exact thing.
But I bet you he would have fought for more screen time.
Oh, for sure.
For more character building for Victor Sweet, so he could actually get some kind of real dislike for him.
Yeah.
Other than, I think his name is Chiwetel. Is his name? Victor Sweet?
I forget exactly.
He's
I'm
the
not
guy
sure.
that's in Doctor Strange.
Yes. That's what I would know him from.
Yeah, that's the reason why I know him. But I don't know. Did you say Jeremy Renner as Bobby?
No. No.
That's
Hawkeye?
crazy. Hawkeye is Bobby, dude.
Yeah. I immediately think of that song that he made
Oh,
called The Main Attraction
yes.
or something. And it opens up and goes, boom. Ah.
No.
Yeah. Swear.
I've never heard of it.
Swear. Jeremy Renner makes music and his song starts out like that.
that's
I'll look it up after. The last one that I got is this movie was inspired by 2 movies, which I thought was wild. And it was Dirty Harry, which came out in 1971, and Death Wish, 1974.
Which is insane because I hear Dirty Harry get regarded as like a classic.
Yes.
Because Clint Eastwood is in it, and
Mhm.
you know it's like a classic. You know, I think dirty cop movie.
I think
you
so.
know. And I've yet to watch it. It's on my list, but
And Death Wish, they made so many of those. They got.
yeah,
My dad used to love Death Wish. I remember I had gotten sick a couple years ago, and I was in the hospital. And we were scrolling. He stayed the night with me. We were scrolling through the TV, and that Death Wish, I think it was 4, was on.
oh,
And he was like, "Let's watch it. Let's watch it." I've never seen my dad's like wanted to watch a movie so bad, and then we
Yeah.
put it on and said, "What is this crap?" I remember it because he's just this guy's just literally killing people. That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
Killing bad people in Detroit.
that sounds like a macho guy pick where you're just
Mhm.
like, oh, you know what that sounds like? A Kyle Milko pick.
Oh.
Where it's just like, give me all action or nothing. Like,
Nope.
I want to see constant balls to the wall, shooting, action, blood, all that stuff with no context. I want to be able to just see all this stuff happen, and then that will be the best movie ever.
Just entertainment.
What's
Yeah.
the movie that he said he loves?
Fast and Furious.
No.
Transformers? No,
Yeah,
he says that they're trash. Some of them, most
Yeah.
of them.
But, yeah. Okay, if we're done with facts, let's get into what didn't work.
Off the top of my
Laundry
head,
list, man.
Sofia Vergara, take her out. She
Yeah,
didn't-
or work on her character.
She was the most like
Dumb
Didn't need to be
formulaic,
there.
stereotypical.
Mira, Bobby, ¿por qué no te caes del cielo?
Yeah, I didn't like how they just fell into like the trope of being like, oh, he's got this foreign baddie, and she's gonna, she's fiery. She's
She's not even a baddie.
She's gonna do all this crazy
Oh,
stuff.
the scene where she's on
The laundry, on the water.
I've already set the spin cycle.
She's like,
dude.
remember, just like in high school.
Yeah, dude, you did that really well.
I was about to say, you have experience?
Shut up.
One of the first things that didn't work for me was Darnell's acting.
Darnell?
In the beginning, the kid that gets caught stealing the candy.
Oh, yeah. He's just
straight up all, I won't steal anymore.
don't call the cops,
Don't call
please.
the cops, please. I won't.
I don't want to go to jail.
It was like, hey, try. like,
And I think
just give us something.
Give us
this is the
something.
main reason why I can start to agree with Nick that child actors do suck sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's a prime example. Sorry, whoever you are, Darnell, but you suck.
It was bad.
It was horribly cardboard.
Yeah.
I could, yeah.
No dimension.
No, another character I hated, just Jack. I'll just get it out there. Jack Mercer.
Yeah, I hated Jack as well. He could have not been in the movie, and I would have been completely okay with it. I wouldn't have even asked why is there not a fourth brother.
Yeah.
like I would be like, oh, it's just they just named it Four for some reason.
Four is maybe the dude in
Yeah.
Maybe
away
Victor
or
Sweet's
something.
brother.
Yeah, he just kills me too. Like there's the scene whenever they're doing the like seeing the visions of mom, and she
he's
says
just going-
something to him, and he's just like, yeah, just doing that. And I was like, show more emotion rather than just being wide-eyed and clenching your jaw.
Dude.
Like that's all I got to see from him so far. And then whenever he's dying, he's just like, it was look at he's pooping.
Yeah.
Like
Finishing.
Yeah, the delivery of most of his lines too were so scripted, man. They're so
Yeah.
bad.
yeah.
Like
Hey kid, no running in the halls.
it's like he had the script written on his hand.
No,
or
I think about
something.
the one when he's in the car when he's drawing, and he goes, "It's him, it's him."
Dude, or when he goes and says, "It's floor 6."
Yeah.
And I'm like, give me more. Like, just why does he have so much screen time?
I also hated whenever they're talking about Sophie's character, Sophie, and he says something like, "She's addicted to angels. She's addicted to angels dicking," or something like that. And I was like, "Stop, dude! Like, say this can't be your character.
No.
Like you gotta do something to make me like you because I hate you as it right now, dude. Like,
Here's another one that I hated was when Bobby's crying and he goes into his room and he goes, "You're making a lot of ruckus on that thing," and he goes, "Yeah, I make a lot of ruckus."
He like repeats it. That's another thing I hate too. This they have that establishing shot of him crying in the bathroom, which leads to one thing that doesn't work for both of us. But he gets out and they do that stereo freaking typical thing where he's rubbing his eyes, like he just got done crying. You know what I mean? It's like we
Yeah.
just saw that. We don't need this. This is like for you're trying to show like nuance of a character. Like, oh
Yeah.
he just got done crying, but it's the most unnecessary scene ever, dude.
yeah. I also just don't. I can't buy into Mark Wahlberg crying.
No,
No.
Like when I seen Mark Wahlberg crying whenever Jack is dying, and he's like, "Don't die on me! You can't die on me! Come on, Jack! Don't!" Like it was like, I can't get into this, man. You cannot make me feel for you.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Like-
not at all.
I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Another one, Jack drinks Jack.
He says like something Jack, something butt crack or
Jack drinks crack.
something like that.
Yeah,
No,
ridiculous.
Jack doesn't like butt crack and ball sack.
Oh yeah. It's
Jack's got fans. Jack's got a lot of fans.
It's bad whenever you see him dying, and I'm like, "See you later, man." Like, sayonara.
Yeah, or it was like I could see that happening. Like I could see that happening from a mile away.
Oh,
that
yeah.
he was gonna be the one that was gonna die.
Yeah, the way they set it up is.
You
Yeah.
think if Jeremiah or Angel died, it'd been different?
Oh yeah, because if Jeremiah would have died, I mean, he's got a family that's left behind. He's got debt. Like it would have been more weight, and I'd be like, oh dang, who's gonna pay the debt?
Yeah.
Who's gonna take care of his kids now?
Mhm.
His kids are gonna grow up in the foster care system, maybe. Like
Yeah.
You know, like it would have been more weight to the situation. But they picked the most hollow character to kill off, so I had no weight or like no reason to care.
Yeah. That's one thing I didn't like either. I had no emotional connection to these characters one single bit. Like anything could have happened to them except Jerry. All of the other characters I was like, I don't care. I have no physical, like emotional connection with you guys at all.
Yeah.
Everything that they decide to build up, they undercut it with everything else. And one of the things that doesn't work is the music placement.
Yeah.
For me,
in that crying scene when he's crying and it's like, a man shouldn't cry.
Yeah.
And he's like looking in the mirror.
how on the nose?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was also on the nose too. In the opening shot of the film with the dice with the 4, I immediately was like, "Oh, 4, oh, 4 brothers."
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not like it. Immediately when I saw Mark Wahlberg crying and heard the music playing, I was like, "This, it doesn't. It cuts any emotional impact that this was supposed to have out."
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like it.
Not at all.
I also have down what didn't work. When they were smacking that lawyer on the belly.
Yeah.
They straight up said,
Yeah, like
got a red handprint.
Yeah, and he's just like, it was like supposed to be some form of torture. Or
He's just
something,
going,
where he's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing in my house?" And they pull a shirt of his head and go, smack him. He's all, "Oh!" I was like,
It
"Are you
reminds
kidding
me
me, dude?"
of-
I do that to my nephew, and he laughs at it. Like, how is it supposed to be like so intimidating? And him to be like, "Oh, this guy lives here." It was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
For real?
It was so... The plot that they have is so freaking bare bones, dude.
Yeah.
And he falls into that bare bone plot of, oh, they think that he's up to something, but oh, he really was just having relations with the mom.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like he's okay. Let's leave him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I broke your window.
Yeah.
Dude, straight up, they hug him and he goes, "I broke your back window."
Dude.
I'm just trying to figure out what happened to my mom.
The plot in this is just so bare bones, and it feels like things just happen randomly. Like they have no build up, no tension building at all with action or with how the plot is supposed to go forward. Everything feels so disconnected
Yeah.
and random.
Yeah. Another thing that sort of plays off the randomness, whenever the infinite ammo scene happens, which is one of the things that doesn't work for me. Whenever Mark Wahlberg goes to talk to that last guy, and he said, "Did Victor Sweet send you?" And he's all, yeah, it was Sweet. Just out of nowhere, I died laughing at that because like it's just like,
And he goes,
just out of nowhere.
"Oh, thank God."
Yeah.
Thank God.
Like I was dying laughing at him, just going, yeah, it was Sweet. Like it was like,
It sounds like he's like, "Yeah, it was good."
yeah, it was him. It was it was him.
Immediately giving him up.
Yeah, like it had no intention of being like, "Oh, I'm not gonna tell you."
Yeah.
You know, it's just like immediately like, "Oh yeah, it was him," and then he's like, "All right, say goodnight," and then does the cut to black.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things that doesn't work is the cinematography.
Yeah,
And we've seen Lahane do that so perfectly with the transition gunshot.
yeah,
And this is so comical. I was
Yeah.
like, it's so amateur hour right here doing it like this. Dude, I hated it.
yeah, and I think it's just because the writing
The writing
is bad,
Yeah.
and there's no weight or anything for us to really care about. So when we see like them try to do some of the things that like Lahane is doing, and we're like, it immediately is kind of like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
like try harder, man, like make a movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, make it interesting.
Another thing I didn't like was how Bobby approached every single situation with his gun out.
Yeah.
Every single situation, he's like, they give him no
Hey,
time.
I want to talk to you.
It's like, who's going to take you seriously?
Yeah.
How are you going to
seriously.
get anything
Everyone's-
done?
He wants to come
Everyone-
off intimidating.
Yeah, everyone immediately is going to be like, oh, and go dip and run.
And and it's exactly what happens, and it ruins everything. The plot would be so much more easy if he just said, "Hey, let's talk over here a minute." Like, "Hey, you know this?"
Yeah.
You know, maybe they give you some traction, and then you pull the gun.
Yeah, and that would build tension.
It would, because you
Es-
know he's always
especially-
he's always strapped, so
Yeah.
you know that he's got it in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Especially in the scene of the apartment. And he goes, "Hey, Damien!"
He's not even close. Like, he's getting in the door.
Yeah.
It's over. And another thing that really upset me really bad was like they never had any repercussions for their actions. None at all.
None.
He just got a slap on the wrist.
Barely
Self-defense.
any.
Self-defense, yeah.
and it just felt so like my suspension of disbelief was out the window, literally out the window. Like I could no longer believe that this movie would ever exist.
Yeah.
And it made it to where, you know, you say, oh, you can enjoy this movie if you turn your brain off. Even if I did that, I would still hate this movie because there's too many times where I'm like, are you kidding me? This isn't real life. Like there's no way this would happen. How is this? What kind of like there's no the dialogue here, the acting here sucks. Like every second I'm like taken so out of the movie. And I'm being really critical. This is what didn't work.
I'm okay.
We'll get to we'll lift it up afterwards. But
Yeah.
it's like I gotta be critical here because I'm reading these 10 out of 10 reviews. I'm reading these.
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
this
I
movie-
picked this movie, and I don't understand how
This
it got
movie
10
has
out of
an
10.
overall IMDb rating of like a 7 out of 10.
What am I missing?
I don't
6.8
know
out of 10.
I don't know what I'm missing either. Like it's, I think another thing that doesn't work for this movie as well is that it could have been so much shorter.
It could have.
Like this movie could have been. It's an hour 45. I think this movie could have easily been an hour 20,
Easy.
hour 15, and got in what it needed to say. It could have cut out a lot of fat and really trimmed down and like really like made this movie concise. And I think that would have helped the movie. It probably could have made the movie a lot better.
Yeah, a lot more focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's so much fat in the movie. Like there's scenes that just feel so inconsequential. Like I understand that certain things happen. Like I immediately think of like the bowling alley, and going to the bowling alley and they see this guy and Jerry's there and he gave him some money and now we got to go back over there and be like, give us the money. It just was like, it just felt like plot device.
Yeah.
Every time, and it was like, do we really need this? It doesn't need to be here. Like let's really trim this thing down. And I felt like this movie could have benefited from that.
Yeah. I think if they focused on just the brothers' relationship and really honed in on getting us connected to that,
Yeah.
it would have been so much better and way more focused and, again, shorter.
Yeah.
And it would have the emotional impact that I think that they were going for.
Yeah.
But to me, it was falling on deaf ears the whole movie.
Yeah. Well, that's it for what didn't work for me.
The last thing for me that didn't work is because you guys took a lot of mine. Some of the shots in this movie. So the cinematography then, yeah. So then never mind.
Yeah, cinematography sucks.
All right. What did work then?
You guys didn't disagree with me, but I liked Mark Wahlberg in this movie.
Okay.
I did.
I feel like he plays the role he usually plays.
Yeah.
You know, like he plays this like
The
tough
leader,
guy
tough guy, yeah.
who's gonna lead, and he's not gonna take no for an answer. He's a BA and all this stuff. And it's
He plays it well.
he does. I feel like he almost typecasts himself a little bit into those roles, and I like that's where I want to go see like some of his different movies. Like he got his start in Boogie Nights with Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yep.
And I would love to see how he acts in this movie because it's completely different from what he has set himself up to be as like this like cop.
Yeah. What was your first movie that you saw of him?
With Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Oh,
Please
man.
don't say the other guy.
No, not the other guys, man.
Because for me, it was the Italian Job.
I couldn't even tell you.
I
have no idea.
I can't even remember most of the movies he's in, honestly. Like, I know he's in Departed.
Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home, but both of those roles, he plays the leader, the head
tough
honcho,
guy.
the tough guy, the guy who's got all the quips, all the
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have to search through all of his films and be like,
The Happening?
maybe,
No.
maybe.
Yeah.
Wait.
He says,
No.
guys, you gotta believe in science.
No, that's not Mark Wahlberg, is it?
Yes. With what was the guy's name that made it? He constantly makes trash.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't even have to tell me.
Yeah.
Dude, I know M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's the Happening?
Where the plants are releasing this pheromone
Yes,
that it's making people kill each other.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
Kill themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transformers: The Light Night. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's
But he's so good in The Fighter.
Yeah, he is very good in The Fighter. I will give him that. And I think the one reason I really like him in The Fighter is because there's more nuance to his character in that.
Yes.
And another reason I love The Fighter is Christian Bale.
Christian Bale kills it, dude.
Yeah. But in regards to what did work, we've already talked about love for the soundtrack. Love the use of old soul and rock and roll and stuff. I also just think that the chemistry between the four brothers felt genuine at some points, and that was something that I think was, worthy of praise in this film. So.
I really liked the angle they took with Jeremiah's character. I enjoyed that they, maybe they didn't do it as successfully building up the whole, he's the one who killed the mom, because it was a little confusing here or there. But I did kind of like that they went through that whole more, he is the one who was taking care of the mom when they were all gone. He was the one that was truly, stuck around and is trying to build a better life, trying to build his business up, trying to do something better in the name of the mom, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I that's another thing, too, is I had really found myself liking Jeremiah more than any of the other brothers.
Yeah, he's honestly who wins it for me to spoil that category.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed his character and the direction they took with it. I kind of also liked, too, how the plot twisted a couple ways.
Okay.
I enjoyed that it wasn't just a very linear plot. It kind of had, diverging plots where your mind could lead you. Oh, because honestly, what had happened was when they started getting on the idea that Jerry really could be up to something. Yeah. I was like, oh man, it's three brothers now. Yeah. And eventually I was right, but I honestly thought that he was one of the main contributors to his mom's death. I thought he was truly going to be the one. So I was interested that they were going that way, and then they kind of subvert even that. Yeah. And they give you a whole nother twist where it's like, no, he wasn't. He was just involved with some guys who ended up doing it, which I liked. I enjoyed that part of it.
Okay. Anything else for what did work?
I think no.
Okay. All right. If that's it for what did work for this film, I mean, Nick has already said what he thinks, who wins the movie. I also do think either Andre 3000 wins the movie or Tyrese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like Tyrese Gibson. Yeah. I think he's a funny guy, and I got love for him from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Bro,
and
I want to watch that movie.
All of the Fast and Furious movies that he's in. He constantly plays like the same character.
And it works for him.
And it works because I just feel like that's him. Yeah. So I have to say either Andre 3000 or Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah.
I think it's Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark?
Said you like him, so.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Sticking to it.
All right. What are some themes?
Here's where I stumble.
Say it.
Family.
There you go.
That's literally what I wrote. I literally wrote family.
Yeah. I stumbled through it. So I have a theme that's not good, but I think it's what the movie is putting forward.
Let's hear it.
The theme that I put is revenge is good if you have the right reasons.
Okay.
It's kind of what the movie is showing.
Yeah, that's what.
Because they don't get any repercussions for killing all those people.
No.
They got revenge.
Yeah.
And at the very end, they got a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
And now they're just rebuilding a house.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a really good theme to bring out. I mean,
yeah,
we're taught that, revenge is never the answer.
Yeah.
It's always forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly the only way to release your pain, right?
Yeah. I would.
I don't know. Do you have anything else? I was stumbling through it, dude.
No, I would just say that, like, it's the stereotypical blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
Like, that whole, theme and position that, people are going to leave this movie and be like, oh, man, I'll never betray family. Family's forever, and all this stuff. And it pushes the same narrative as, like, Fast and Furious. What I did write down in the theme category, I just kind of categorized the film and just put a revenge tough guy flick that you could turn your brain off to. Like, that is what Four Brothers is in a nutshell.
Yep.
If you are into those types of movies, you'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have no complaints. If you want something with a little more weight or a little more context and something a little bit something more that you can chew on and digest a bit, don't watch this.
Oh, do not watch this.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, what are we rating it?
I think it's very fitting to give it a 4 for Four Brothers.
I think I'm going to echo you as well and say it's a 4 for me as well.
Yeah.
I give it 5.
Okay. See, here's what I'll say. Whenever I give something a 5, that means that I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. That I go generally around the same rule. 5 and above, it's a good score. It's a decent score.
Yeah. I liked it.
5 below.
It's so dear to my heart still.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I give it a 5. But this movie's not good.
Yeah, I had to give it one step below just because there's too many times I couldn't believe it. Too many times. So 4 for 4 brothers. It's really easy to remember. That's it for me.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode, you guys. So if you did stick all the way to the end, make sure that you leave us a like, subscribe, comment, turn on the bell notification, all that stuff on YouTube. We see a majority of our traffic now with the podcast going to YouTube. And we really do appreciate that stuff. We appreciate a lot of the interaction with the episodes and seeing all of this stuff, certain episodes blow up and get more views than others. It's really cool to see what you guys are liking, what you guys are not liking. And, liking and commenting and interacting with the stuff lets us know even further what it is that you guys like, what you don't like, what we can do better, and all that stuff. Also, continue to do that stuff if you listen just on the audio, through the podcast apps. Continue to rate and review the shows. We do appreciate it. It really does help, and it gives merit to the show. If you're sharing the stuff, if you're rating it, reviewing it, people look at that stuff and they, decide if they want to, give an hour of their time,
give us a shot,
and listen to us. And sometimes that's a lot to ask for people.
Yeah.
But we really do appreciate you guys doing that stuff, and we would, continue to appreciate and love if you guys would do that for us. With that being said, as always, every episode description has all of our methods of contact. You can contact us on Instagram, our emails, all that stuff. We have our website linked down below there as well, all that stuff. But as always, we're going to close out with my pick, which is next week. And I believe on the note, I didn't change my pick, but we had talked about changing it after
I looked
we
at the
recorded.
note. I got a notification. I saw what you changed it to, and I said, let's go.
So I think I even forgot what I changed it to. So let me take a look real quick. I had
we talked about it last week.
Yes. And so I did change it, and I remember changing it because we had talked about it after we had recorded.
Yeah, you guys were loving it.
Oh my god,
I love this movie.
I love this movie.
I really do love this movie. It's a bit of a long haul, but I think that it's a very fun watch, and it's something that I think it was a banger when it came out, and I remember going and seeing it in theaters and just walking away from it and being like, that was awesome. Like I walked away fully satisfied.
Okay.
It's another Quentin Tarantino movie.
Okay. We haven't done one of those in a while.
And it is a recent one. Came out in 2019. It is called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Another 2019 film.
Another 2019 film. We
Yes.
might end up doing all the 2019 films.
Honestly, we could, and we would have banger episodes.
Yeah.
But
maybe. There's one episode I know you won't like.
which one?
Little Women.
Oh. Little Women just doesn't speak to me.
I
man.
love Little Women, dude.
But
no, wait. That sounds weird.
Hey, clip that.
clip that. Got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
I love the movie Little Woman.
There you go.
There's context. Unfortunately, I did look up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not currently streaming anywhere for free. So you either do have to rent it or own it. I luckily own it on physical copy as well as digitally. So you guys can borrow my copies or sign into my stuff.
I think I might just buy it, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's worthy of the purchase.
Oh, it's 100% worthy.
I love everything about this movie. I love the charisma, the acting, writing.
I just think about the ending all the time.
Yeah, the ending is explosive. Like it's
the best ending.
It's just insane. Like the whole movie is insanity, and I love every bit of it, and I think it's hilarious. It's one of Quentin Tarantino's funnier movies.
Okay.
And I'm excited for you guys to watch it. I'm excited to rewatch because not only have I been wanting to do so, but I'm also excited to see what Nick has to say because it's your first time, right?
It'll be my first, yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I pretty much know nothing about it.
That's good.
Oh, that's
So,
good. Just go in that way.
Yeah, the only thing that you want to know is that this is a movie about 3 different people, and you're going to follow their storylines throughout the movie.
Okay.
That's it.
All I know is it's what's that dude's name? How am I forgetting his name? It's the scene you showed me of him being like, "You're just a drunk."
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm excited to see his performance in
Leo, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie are the leads.
this. Okay. Wow.
So
Heavy hitters.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a really fun watch. I'm excited to rewatch. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
You'll
And
see one of the famous memes on there.
Yeah, the
What?
oh, look at it.
See, I'm lost.
You'll know what we'll talk about.
Yeah, I
whenever you
might.
see it. But yeah, go check out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and tune in next week and hear what we have to say about that movie. As always, this has been the Film Bros Podcast. Thank you guys and good night.
Good night.